Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 10th May 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. And also today is also end of the week. I will be generating few additional reports related to the weekly time frame when I am generating the stocks near weekly demand and supply zones. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, click on the tab posts to access all the training lessons. Some of you might be seeing community tab. In that case, click on the tab. So once you get this post, here you have a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. And here starting from lesson 1.1, all training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one. But according to the training instructions mentioned at our Telegram channel pinned messages. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So join at our Telegram channel and access all the training instructions. Now let's get into report generation with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. Okay, first let us find the stocks near to the daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. So starting with the daily time frame, let us find the stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. So Torrent Power is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So we identified only one high liquidity daily demand zone from this list. Okay, next. For daily time frame, let us find the stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 15 stocks. And from this list, let us identify daily high liquidity supply zones. Bharti Airtel is having a, not Bharti Airtel, this is CG Power. CG Power is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. Jubilant Foods is a PR zone, so it is not valid for HLQ zone strategy. Next, Wipro is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. So we identified 2 valid daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. HCL Technologies is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. PA Industries is having a daily, 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We identified 2 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay, next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. Bank of Baroda is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Canara Bank is having a high liquidity 75 minute supply zone. Page Industries is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Siemens is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. So total we identified 475 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. So we have identified both the daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Next we will generate Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Starting with Nifty, monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So in all the supply demand zone chain reports, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zone. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones, and always look into LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. Okay, this is a monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 125 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. And the nearest demand zone to the current closing price is at serial number 24. So let me put it in the middle of the page. Okay. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All are supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. So here the nearest demand zone to the current closing price is serial number 36. So I will keep this in the middle of the screen. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, I will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Nifty Bank is nothing but Bank Nifty, starting with monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So with this we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. Next, we will generate sideways bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. So starting with monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame daily, entry zone, demand zone, in bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup parameter at entry time frame daily. I am selecting sideways long, and two filters we are selecting. First one, zone achievement should be always violated opposing zone on the selected values, that is daily demand zone, and also minimum odd and enhanced score should be 11 for sideways trade setup and 12 for bullish or bearish trade setups. And pierced count I am not setting for daily time frame, because those who wants to use pierced zone strategies, at least you can get those daily demand zones. So I am filtering the stocks. We got 6 stocks currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Out of these 7, you have to eliminate pierced zones. We got 3 stocks. You can apply pierced zone strategies on those 3. Remaining you should focus on bullish trade setup. Okay, out of these 6, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is daily and weekly demand zone confluence. Let's filter this list with that LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter daily demand zone and weekly demand zone confluence. All 6 stocks are filtered. That means in all the 6 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is, some mistake I read here. Actually, I am generating sideways trade setup, not weekly. I am generating sideways trade setup. Sorry for the mistake. So next we will generate a sideways short trade setup. But let me disable this filter. Okay, sideways short trade setup. Earlier what you have seen is sideways long trade setup. Let me generate again. This is sideways long trade setup. Next, sideways short trade setup, entry zone, supply zone, and here I am selecting sideways short. Both filters are applied to daily supply zone. So one stock is filtered for sideways short trade setup. Now we will generate bullish trade setup. I am going back. For bullish trade setup, entry time frame, demand zone. Here I am selecting bullish. And in the filters, one change, that is minimum odd enhances score 12. With these filters, we got 11 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily demand zone. Out of these 11 daily demand zones, we need to further filter based on the zone confluence. So let's go back. First filter LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. That is daily and weekly demand zone confluence. Now 6 stocks are filtered out of 11. In these 6 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is uptrend in all the stocks. So let's further filter based on the weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. two stocks are filtered. So these two daily demand zones are having more high probability to get success based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is a daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter, it is ITF specific. Next in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next daily and monthly demand zone confluence, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. By enabling all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones, both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up in 2 stocks. So let's verify if any of these 2 stocks monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. So I'm going back in the EMA at monthly. I'm setting filter monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence, and also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So we got both these stocks are filtered. So both these daily demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. So this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. So next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone, bullish or bearish or sideways at daily. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With these filters we got 4 stocks. These 4 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. So we got 4 daily supply zones supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of these 4 daily supply zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. By enabling the filter, out of 4 stocks, we got all 4 stocks. That means in all the 4 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all the stocks. So let's further filter this list based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. So that means these 3 weekly supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Okay. Next, we will filter based on LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence. Daily, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. Remove EMA filter, ITF specific. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is enabled. Next, daily and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone, both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is down in only 1 stock. Let's verify if this monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. If it is having, then this daily supply zone is having more high probability to get success. So let's filter in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, checking monthly supply zone with monthly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So we got that 1 stock is filtered. That means this daily supply zone is having more high probability to get success compared to the others. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look into weekly income trade, bearish, bullish and sideways trade setups. For sideways trade setup, long trade in the weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish, bearish or sideways trade setups, at 75 minutes I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and hands score 12. Sideways trade setup it should be 11. So minimum odd and hands score 11. And also the 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the zone should not be pierced. So we got two stocks, sideways long trade setup, weekly income trade. Always look into the search strategy so that we understand how we are filtering the stocks. Any mistakes that you can find in the search strategy. Okay, next sideways short trade setup, entry zone, supply zone, and also at 75 minutes I am selecting sideways short, and remaining all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes supply zone. Let's filter. We got 7 stocks supporting sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame here, demand zone, entry zone 75 minutes. And also in this parameter, I am selecting bullish. The only change in the filters are minimum odd and hands score should be 12. Now all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. With these filters, we got 7 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 7 75 minutes demand zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. So by enabling the filter, out of 7, we got all the 7 stocks. In all the 7 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zones. And daily trend is uptrend in all the stocks, ITF trend. So let's further filter this list based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So with this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Maybe that is the reason why. See, this zone is already tested once. This is also tested. This is tested even 4 times with 4 rejections. Okay. Next, we will further filter based on the LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next, 75 and weekly demand zone confluence, daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. Both together overlapped with weekly demand zone. But weekly trend is sideways. So you can't filter this list based on the EMA confluence. Okay, this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone, and here in bullish or bearish at 75 minutes I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhances score 12, and also 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters we got 15 stocks. These 15 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones, all 75 minute supply zones. So we got 15 75 minute supply zones. Okay, out of these 15, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is nothing but 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter. By applying this filter on the 15 stocks, we got 12 stocks. In these 12 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all the stocks. That is ITF trend. So let us further filter this list based on daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. In that case, those filtered zones, the overlapped 75 minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. So I am going back in the EMA confluence at daily time frame. I am checking the daily supply zone having daily EMA. So 11 stocks are filtered. So all these 11 75 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. But list is big. So what we do again, next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next 75 and weekly supply zone confluence, and daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. But weekly trend is sideways in all the stocks, so we can't check weekly EMA confluence because sideways trade setup of EMA confluence does not give any advantage. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, let us look into hourly income trade related stocks. First, hourly income trade, sideways long trade setup. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. And in bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at 15 minutes, I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhance score 11. And in 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 15 minutes zone should not be pierced. Let's filter. We got 1 stock. So this is supporting sideways trade setup, long trade. Next, sideways trade setup, short trade. Entry zone is supply zone, and another change, bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup. At 15 minutes, I am selecting sideways short. Remaining 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes supply zone. So we got 2 stocks, sideways trade setup, short trade setup. Okay. Next, bullish trade setup. For daily income trade, entry time frame 15 minutes, but entry zone should be demand zone, and also bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bullish, and only change in the filters are minimum order enhancer score should be 12. Now all the three filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Now we got three stocks supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 15 minutes demand zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Filter is enabled. And all the three stocks are filtered. That means in all the three stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in all the three stocks. Let's verify if any of them are having 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. So one stock is filtered. So probably this 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability. Next we will filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Remove EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, three filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily demand zone confluence, 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got three stocks. That means in all the three stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in only one stock. Let's verify if this stock is having daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. But at the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So that one stock is filtered. So that way, this stock is having more high probability. So that is the reason why this zone is already tested 2 times. Okay, this is a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone, bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at 15. So I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score 12, and also pierced count at 15 minutes time frame. Minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 10 stocks. So these 10 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. We got all these stocks 15 minutes supply zones as an entry time frame. Out of 10 stocks, how many are having more high probability to get success for the bearish trade setup? Daily income trade. That we will filter based on this zone confluence. Supply zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. By enabling the filter, out of 15 stocks, we got 8 stocks. In these 8, these 15 minutes, out of 10 stocks, not 15. Out of 10 stocks, we got 8 are filtered. In all these 8, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. That is what you are seeing here. And 75 minutes trend is down in all the stocks. So let's verify if any of the 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence. So 2 stocks are filtered. So maybe these 2 supply zones are having more high probability to get success. So this stock is already tested twice. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone Confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone Confluence. 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone, both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. But daily trend is down in only 2 stocks. If any of these 2 stocks, if daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, in that case the overlapped 15-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. That we will filter. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am checking daily supply zone with daily EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So one stock is filtered. So that way, this 15-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. Okay, so this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will look into hourly income trades reports. For hourly income trade, entry time frame is 5 minutes. Entry zone is a demand zone. Bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at 5 minutes. I am selecting sideways long. For sideways, zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score for sideways 11. And also this 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 4 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, sideways short trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. And here in 5 minutes I am selecting sideways short, and remaining 3 filters are applied to 5 minute supply zone. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks. Sideways short trade setup. Okay, next we will look into hourly income trade bullish trade setup. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. And here at 5 minutes I am selecting bullish. And in the filters, only one filter, that is value should be changed to 12. Remaining filters are same. They are applied to 5 minutes demand zone. So 6 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Out of 6, how many are having LTF, ITF demand zone Confluence? Let's filter. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 6 stocks, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. But 15 minutes trend is up in all the 3 stocks. Let's verify any 15 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. So one stock is having. This 15 minutes demand zone might be having better high probability to compare it to the others. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone Confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is enabled. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 1 stock. And in this 5 minutes demand zone overlapped with 15, both together are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up. Let's check if this demand zone having any daily EMA, that is 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. So it is not having any EMA confluence. So this is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and hands score 12, and also this 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 12 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. Out of these 12 5-minute supply zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the supply zone confluence. That is the LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. By enabling the filter, we got 11 stocks. In all these 11 stocks, 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zones. And 15 minutes trend is down, ITF trend down on all the stocks. So let's further filter based on EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame, I am checking any 15 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So 3 stocks are filtered. So probably these 3 15-minute supply zones are having more probability to get success. Okay, next we will filter based on LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already, what is that? Something. Sorry. First filter is already enabled. Next 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence, 15 minutes and 75 minute supply zone confluence with all the 3 filters LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. We got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. So let's 75 minutes trend is down in all the stocks. Let's verify any 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is downtrend in 75. We got 2 stocks. So that way these 2 supply zones might be having better high probability to get success compared to the others. So this is bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. So with this we have completed all the income trades reports. Next we will find the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames, and also for weekly and above time frame. Let us check price closed inside these zones also. And because end of the week, weekly time frame, we will generate few additional reports. So starting with half yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone, no stocks are available. Next time frame half yearly, stocks near to the half yearly demand zone, no stocks. Near to the half yearly supply zone, 1 stock is filtered. Next, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly, stocks near to the quarterly demand zone, no stocks. Stocks near to the quarterly supply zone, 6 stocks are filtered. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. First 22 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 23 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 14 stocks. All these 14 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence and also current price closed inside those quarterly demand zones. Some of these quarterly demand zones are also high liquidity zones. Okay, next we will look into price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 12 stocks. We can further filter this list based on quarterly supply zones having quarterly EMA confluence. Trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. So 4 stocks are filtered. So this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near to the monthly demand zone, we got 11 stocks. Next, stocks near to the monthly supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, we got first 18 stocks. Scrolling the list down. So total 28 stocks are filtered. Let's further filter this list based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence at monthly, I'm checking monthly demand zone having monthly EMA. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So 11 stocks are filtered. Okay, next price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got several stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks are filtered. Out of these 23, how many are having monthly supply zone with monthly EMA confluence? Let's filter. And trend on the monthly should not be sideways. Can be up or down. So 12 stocks are filtered. So these 12 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence, including NIFTY. And also current price closed inside the monthly supply zone. So this is about a monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. And also this is the end of the week. I will be generating few additional reports. For weekly time frame, price closed near to the weekly demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone, 8 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 35 stocks are filtered. Out of these 35, how many monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let's filter. I mean weekly demand zones having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So 7 stocks are filtered. Next, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 48 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly supply zones having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 16 stocks. All these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. And also price closed inside those weekly supply zones. Okay, next we generate few additional reports for the weekly time frame. And the tested weekly demand and supply zones, let us find. So let's find the stocks tested during this week. So all these weekly demand zones are tested during this week. All these stocks having weekly demand zones. Scrolling the list down. "41 weekly demand zones are tested during this week." Okay, next let us find the tested weekly supply zones. So 13 stocks having the weekly tested supply zones. Okay, next let us find the newly created weekly demand zones. Stocks having newly created weekly demand zones. So these 4 stocks are having newly created weekly demand zones. All these are all newly created weekly demand zones. Okay, next newly created weekly supply zones. So several weekly supply zones are created during this week. All these stocks are having newly created weekly supply zones. Look into the timestamp, week open timestamp. And this one is not a week open, right? That means this zone is having a fine-tuned newly created zone. But why we are displaying this? Because this is the nearest to the current closing price. Inside this zone, and if you open the chart and if you draw this zone and if you see inside, a newly created zone will be there. That is a LOTL zone. See, report always displays nearest to the current closing price. Except the scenario, see, remaining stocks, always you are seeing week open. But again here you see, you might be having a LOTL zone created inside this. Even here also. But otherwise the timestamp will be the 5th May, that is the week open timestamp. Okay, first 15 stocks, I'm scrolling the list down. So 33 stocks are filtered. This week supply is very strong. That's why many new supply zones are created, and also we have seen many stocks moved till the weekly demand zones. Okay, so total 33 stocks are having newly created weekly supply zones. And also we will generate 2 additional reports in the weekly, that is based on the zone confluence. Weekly, monthly and quarterly demand zone confluence and supply zone confluence reports. Let us filter. So weekly time frame for the demand zone confluence. 3 filters. First one is weekly and monthly demand zone confluence, weekly and quarterly demand zone confluence, and then monthly and quarterly demand zone confluence. By setting these 3 filters, we got a big list. First 16 stocks on the list. Nifty, Bank Nifty, both weekly demand zones are overlapped with monthly and quarterly. Oh, good. Scrolling the list down, "37 stocks are filtered." We can further narrow down this list based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence, because the weekly and monthly together overlapped with quarterly. So that's why in the EMA confluence at quarterly, checking quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, can be up or down. Now the list is reduced. First 16 stocks on the list. Bank Nifty is filtered, but Nifty is not filtered. Scrolling the list down, so total 24 stocks are filtered. Similarly, let us look into supply zone confluence, weekly, monthly and quarterly supply zone confluence. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is weekly and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and quarterly supply zone confluence, and also monthly and quarterly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 8 stocks. We can also further filter this list based on for checking quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. Also, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, can be up or down. Only 2 stocks are filtered, and one is a pierced zone, weekly zone. So this is about the weekly time frame. And daily we already generated in the beginning of this report. Next 125 minutes time frame. Let us find the stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone. Next, stocks near to the 125 minutes supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes, because 75 we already generated in the beginning. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minutes supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone, we got 3 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone, we got 7 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone, we got 10 stocks. So with this we have completed finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. In the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. See, first 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I keep on scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.